What's going on, guys? ChaseWins.com coming to you for Saturday, November the 2nd, 2019. Cannot believe it's November already, guys. We are coming to the close of the year, but a lot of stuff's going on this week. Um, the World Series ended. Congratulations, as I've already said, to the Washington Capitals. So now baseball is officially over for 2019. It's a sad day, but we've got hockey. We've got NBA in full swing now. We've got college football coming to its kind of, last month of the regular season, and then we get into worrying about the college football playoffs and bowl games and things like that. And even the first week of December, or the first Saturday in December, we're worried about conference championships. We've got NFL in absolute full swing, kind of hitting that midway point of the regular season. And we've got college basketball starting this coming week, which I'm very, very excited for. Tuesday is when we start a lot of the big games. A lot of your SEC is it SEC Big Ten they're doing this year? I know Michigan State and Kentucky play on night one. We've got a lot of exhibition games going on at the moment, like North Carolina played like UNC Wilmington or something tonight. So we got that stuff going on. I will be doing a live show involving college basketball that gives you my preseason rankings of who I think will end up at the top of every conference come the end of the season, which will kind of give you my thoughts of who to look for, who I think is overrated, who is being overlooked, things of that nature. And we're going to do that on Tuesday morning. That way we've got a chance for not only these lines to be out, but to be bet and see where the public is really thinking. And that'll kind of give you a little more insight as to where my head's at and to where the value is versus just where public is thinking. Because again, all they have to go off of is last year. Most of the public isn't studying what's coming in, who's coming off the bench is now an upperclassman, what these kids did as high school players and where they're going to fit into this rotation for longtime coaches like your Caliparis and your Krzyzewskis and your Roy Williams and your Bob Huggins and all these guys. So it's going to be a good week. I can't wait. And of course, NHL has just been second to none. So sorry I don't have the microphone tonight. I've been getting all the new stuff set up, so I didn't have time to get all that done tonight, but that will be back next week. But wanted to get you some free plays out there. So you did not see me today for Friday for a free play. So let's do a recap of what we did on Thursday. Then we'll do a recap for Friday, and we'll get you on a free play for Saturday. So going into Thursday, having an absolutely phenomenal record. Having a great week thus far, profit every day. We hit a little skid on Thursday, but no big deal. It's not like we got absolutely crushed or anything like that. So free play that I gave you was a premium play. It was Georgia Southern plus 14.5, and I've really, really been focusing on a lot of underdogs in football lately, college and NFL. And it's worked out in our favor. We haven't won everything, but we really have been focusing on the right dogs at the right time in the right situations. So Georgia Southern, that was an easy win from start to finish. It was never in question. Even when App State came back and was really putting the pressure to take the game and win it, which they should have. You would think on paper. It was never in question as to whether or not Georgia Southern was going to cover the spread. So that was a nice winner. We did have the overplay in the West Virginia game, which that game, I didn't get to catch most of it. I still have to go back and watch a lot of that game, so all I can say is that it did not go over. That's about all I can say about the game now because I have not got to go back and watch it. The NFL, we did have the Cardinals plus 10 as a premium play. That was a nice winner. Again, I'm telling you, I think that San Francisco is a little bit smoke and mirrors. Great football team, but I don't think they're as good as their undefeated record portrays them to be. Now, we did take the under in that game. That was really going in our favor up until the end when there was a lot of defensive miscues on both sides, which allowed teams to have bigger plays. So that one we didn't have. So we split out in the NFL. I take the NBA, we split out as well. We had winners on the Clippers and the Heat. Those were fairly easy winners. But we did drop an overplay with the Clippers and an underplay with the Pelicans. Pelicans was our top play. That was the first top play that we've dropped all year in the NBA. And that's the first top play we've dropped in a while. as far as having an overall top play loss for the day. We dropped a top play on this past Sunday, but we made it up with three other top plays. So, but we split there, and then in the NHL we had our first overall losing day. I want to say it's only our third losing day in the NHL for the season. We had two plays. We lost both of them. We had a small favorite as well as a totals play on the under 6.5 in the Vegas Knights game, which, again, latter part of the game, defensive miscues allowed too many points in a small portion of time. So overall, it was a losing day. We didn't get absolutely crushed. If you actually go out there and look at everything, we pretty much split in everything other than NHL. NHL was where we truly took going from just losing juice on the day to actually having a losing day and dropping two plays. So, but it's okay. We move on, take it. Having a losing day doesn't hurt us in the long run because we come into Friday. Friday, we have a big card. Where should we start? Let's start with college football. One play, Navy minus 26. Some people may have gotten it at 27 if you bet it right before the game. Easy win, start to finish. I mean, they blew them. I mean, absolutely blew the doors off of them. Played great offensively. Had three different turnovers in which they converted into points. I think a touchdown each one of those times. So Navy was a nice, easy winner to go 1-0 in college football in the only game on the board. We get into the NBA. We did take a split in the NBA again. We had the Bulls -3. That was a nice winner at home. Them to bounce back after they've given up 2 games. The Bulls' record, I'm telling you right now, the Bulls is a team with value because even though their record portrays them to be the Bulls that they've been for the past few years, if you go back and look at the games against like Detroit on the road and the Knicks, the Bulls gave it up themselves. They didn't get beat. They gave it up. So if they can kind of come out of that little slump, let Kobe White have the ball a little bit more, truly run point, and get his team on the same page that he wants them to be, and let LaVine do what he does while he's healthy and hopefully stays healthy, the Bulls are a lot better than their record suggests, and they will be a team that makes waves in the Eastern Conference this year. Mark my words. They just have to kind of get out of that slump they're in of getting too complacent and comfortable, coming into the latter part of the third quarter and then beginning of the fourth quarter, which has ultimately cost them in 2 different games so far this year. But that was a winner. And then we had the Lakers and the Mavs over. We added it 216. Some people may have gotten it a little bit higher if you bet it right before game time. And this is one thing that I want to bring up because I had a couple of people send me emails and go, well, where do you get your lines? Because my book is showing this. But these people have books that, hold on one second. These people are using local bookies, online services, and some people, when you think of an online service, you think of Bovada or Five Dimes or PointsBet or BetDSI, something like that. And for the most part, other than Bovada is really, really, you have to watch them because they will screw you on a line before anybody will. Excuse me. But for the most part, if you use Five Dimes or BetDSI, their lines are pretty accurate. They might be off by a half point or so, but that's because they will go off Vegas lines, but they let their internals decide sometimes a half point. They'll move lines as Vegas move lines, but in their realm, if their public is betting more to one side, they'll shift it a half point versus what Vegas just may do. So usually sites like that are very good, but there are so many paperhead sites in this world that your local book may run and have you sign up for, and they can go in at any given time, whether or not they are the ones that truly runs it. It could be some offshore Costa Rican company that runs it that is always higher or lower than what Vegas truly is. They can go in at any given time, log into their account, see where there is it's completely lopsided the way the bets are coming in, and they can shift it just like that. They don't have to ask anybody. They don't have to check with Vegas because guess what? You're doing it illegally. No questions asked. If you don't like it, don't bet it. They don't care. And if you like it enough, you're probably going to bet it anyway, which means that they have a better chance of screwing you. So, but guys, you have to understand, I don't care what your local book has. I don't care what your bookie has, what your online service has. Now, if you're betting with Five Dimes and my line is 3 to 4 points off, let me know because I have a Five Dimes account that I use and I want to see it. But I have people tell me, all the time, well, hey, you release this. My book's got it this. And I'll send them a screenshot of my William Hill account, which is Vegas Lines, William Hill's Properties, which is the most accurate and earliest lines available in all of Las Vegas. They pretty much set the precedent for every other line in Vegas. I'll send them this. I'll say, here, go to Vegas Insider. Here's all the lines. This is what Vegas is doing. This is what I'm going off of. William Hill Sportsbook. I'm not going off of Billy Bob Joe's, local betting parlor. So you've got to understand if you're taking the risk to bet local or bet paper head, you're running the risk of getting shoddy lines, and there's nothing I can do about it. And I truthfully don't really care because that's your risk that you're taking. If you're that concerned, but you have to bet online because you're not in Vegas or you're not in Jersey or you're not somewhere where you can go to a book, then bite the bullet, sign up for Five Dimes or Bovada or somewhere. I would prefer you do Five Dimes because they are the best to deal with. As you can see, I'm not sponsored by them. I don't get anything if you sign up with them. I have no affiliation to them other than I use them. And if I had to recommend someone for an online book, which isn't my first recommendation, I'd say Five Dimes is the best because I've used all of them. I just want to get that out of the way. But either way, what you got it. Thank you, Danny Green, and thank you for a missed call from Dwight Howard holding back Mr. Curry to allow the last-second three-point shot to take it into overtime for a nice win. Jazz and Kings, I really thought that one was going to go into overtime, but it did not. So we went 2-2 in the NBA. So not a great day there. Dropped just a hair bit of juice, but we're okay because we were already up one game because of NCAA football. And then we get into the NHL, which has been unreal this season. So we had 4 plays in the NHL, 2 of which were top plays. Oh, and by the way, the Lakers and the Mavs over was a top play, so that was a winner. So we did not lose any juice. We are actually up in the NBA, excuse me. So we actually would have been 1-2 in premiums, but then the way that my betting system works, and I tell everybody and preach over and over and over again, we actually won money. We're up a couple of units in the NBA. So a winning day in college football, a winning day in the NBA. And then we get into the NHL, 4 plays, 2 premiums and 2 top plays. We'll do the 2 premiums first. We have the Colorado Avalanche minus 140. That right there was an incredible game. I watched the entire second half. That game was fast-paced. It was up and down. If anybody watched that game, please tell me why their captain kept getting kicked out of faceoffs. 7 times he got kicked out of the faceoff ring. I couldn't figure out why. I didn't see him do anything wrong. Even the announcers were like, what is he doing? We don't understand why he's getting kicked out. And I'm sure I can go up and look it up online. I don't care that much. But if anybody knows, let me know. I'm interested to see that. But anyway, that wasn't the reason the Avs lost. The Dallas Stars were just able to hang on. Defensively, they played a better game than they usually do, which is not something I expected them to do. So I got to hand it to them. They went out there and they deserved the win and they got it. But I really thought that the Avalanche were going to be able to pull that one off. So that was the only loss we took in the NHL, premium play. We back it up with a premium win on the New York Islanders at plus 120. We absolutely beat the brakes off that game. Plus 120, nice easy win. And then we get into the 2 top plays. We have the Carolina Hurricanes minus 1.5 on the puck line at plus 110, so another plus money play. Easy win from start to finish. St. Louis Blues, a little chalky on that one. I really thought at the very late end when they were in that power play in the last minute and a half, they'd take care of business. But went into overtime after they were already down by two goals, mind you. So they came back, played great offense in the latter part, great defense, ended up going into overtime, winning it there. That's why I don't play regulation stuff, guys. I always play for overtime unless otherwise stated. So a 3-1 day in the NHL with 2 top play winners. So a win in all sports. 1-0 in NCAA. 2-2 in NBA, but a top play winner for a winning day there, and then 3-1 in the NHL with 2 top play winners. 3 top play winners in one day. What more do you want, guys? A fantastic day. Whatever we lost on Thursday, piss that out the window. Friday made up for it and then some. Great, great day. So now we get into Saturday. We do have an NHL game of the week. It's going to be a big one. I can't wait for it. We were probably going to have an NFL game of the week this week. And I tell you what, this NHL game, truth be told, could be a play of the month. But we're going to keep it at play of the week. It's the first one we've had all year. So far this year, we are 75%. I'll pull up my notes here and give you the exact stats. Give me one second. So that puts us at 54-18 overall in NHL plays. That's even 75% overall. There's no one doing that, not even close. Top plays, we are 16-2 overall for 89% even. Guys, there's no one doing that. No one even close. Jump on the NHL season. Make back your money in the first week. Hell, in the first day, depending on what you wager. But you'll make your money back in the first week, and then it's just profit from there on out. Don't sit on the sidelines any longer. Looks like the MLB king might be taking another crown. Let's see how many people that pisses off. But yeah, I'm going to have an NHL play of the week. I'm going to work on the write-up a little bit, but that'll be posted by the time you see this video. $50, win or get 3 days free. We are going to have a big play in the NFL this week. Potentially a big play in college football, but it's going to be something that you can buy just as a normal daily top play. So make sure you check that out. College football will be posted before I go to bed tonight. It's about midnight now, just a little after. So I will have that up. I will be in my office tomorrow at about 8:30, but I will not be answering any emails until probably about 11 a.m. because I am going to work on NHL and NBA to get that up well before any of the kickoffs go on. So if you're wondering about college football, those plays will be up before I even go to bed tonight, which will probably still be a couple hours. But that'll be done, and then everything else will be posted early. And once all that's done, I get my emails answered. I'll be gone for the rest of the day and be back early Sunday morning. So let's jump into the free play, and we're going to do the big game, Georgia, Florida. The biggest game of the week, in my opinion, the world's largest outdoor cocktail party. Georgia is favored by 6. This is a game that I bet when Georgia opened up as 3.5-point favorites, and I bought it down to 3 early in the week. Now, I didn't release it then because I really felt like the line was off. I felt like there was something that we weren't being told, something that had not been released yet. So I didn't want to, overdo it and then have to come back and hedge the bet. But even at 6, I like Georgia, and I'll tell you why. Is Florida a good team? Absolutely. We've made a lot of money on Florida this year. We've had top play winners on Florida this year. I love Dan Mullen. I think Florida's a good team. I think they are good enough to go to the college football playoffs, depending on how everything plays out. But this is what I think. Do I think that Georgia and Florida are even teams? No, I don't. Do I think that Florida has been overlooked at times? Yeah, I think they were overlooked all year last year. Coming into the season, their season win total was 2 less than Georgia. If you would have looked, their odds were like a 500-1 odd to win, or not 500-1. There was like a 50-1 odd for Florida to win it because the odds makers thought, at most books, because the odds makers thought they were going to go out there and drop, 3 games in the first 6 weeks. They were going to end up being a 7-win team this year with losses to LSU, to Georgia. I mean, they just, and even them having competitive games against in-state rivals like Florida State. We saw the value in Florida at the beginning. But here's what's happened. Okay, Florida takes a loss. But look who they take a loss against. Somebody that right now, by a lot of the media, is being considered the best team in the country. I don't think LSU is the best team in the country. I've got to say that Alabama is. But I've told you guys all year since week 2 who I thought the most well-rounded team in college football was, and that was Ohio State. Now, let's look at, because of the Oklahoma loss, because Oklahoma took that loss to K-State. Now this college football playoff's wide open again because you are going to have a one-loss Alabama or LSU because they have to play each other. There can't be two winners there. So there is going to be a one-loss team between those. What does that mean? That means that there is going to be a potential two-loss team after a conference championship. So with Georgia losing to South Carolina, that was a blow. Backed them up farther than they wanted to. Really big long shot for them to come back and make college football playoffs. Okay. Florida had taken a loss to LSU, which isn't near the hit that Georgia took because of the South Carolina loss. Now that you had Oklahoma go down, you had Wisconsin go down, both to unranked teams, both to opponents that they should have, quote unquote, blown out of the water. Now you have the doors wide open. The door's wide open for Florida or LSU. So that's the big thing. I don't think people are realizing how big of college football playoff implications are on the line right here. Because the way that it is, and this is just a fact, the winner of this game is more than likely going to represent the East in Atlanta this year for the SEC championship. And then whoever wins LSU Alabama should be representing the West. Now you think, okay, if Florida were to win the game and then it comes down and it's a tiebreaker, yada, 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 all this other crap. Don't look too much into that. This has college football playoff implications. And here is where the media plays a big part in, I think, the way the line has been set up for you to see who the better team is, but yet you not to believe it. Everybody right now is high on Florida. They are high on Florida. They're winning games. They are winning them in dominant fashion. Dan Mullen is that guy you want to see win. Florida's that sexy team. Georgia hasn't been as sexy, but they're fundamentally sound football team that's more fundamentally sound than Florida. Fact. Their fans are the most eager fans in the country to win a championship. I don't care what you say about Oklahoma. Oklahoma they have other sports that they have success in. They've had a good basketball run the past couple of years. Baseball, they're always tough. And Oklahoma is always in national championship talk. Always. Even though they're not ever good enough. They're playing in the Big 12. High offense, no defense. You ain't got no defense, you ain't winning a championship. Georgia's top 3 defense in college football. Florida's a great defense. They're more like top 7, top 8. Maybe that's just my opinion. Maybe I'm completely out of my realm here. I believe that Georgia is a touchdown better football team than Florida. So I think where the line is, I think it's accurate. Go look at how money's come in versus the number of bets and everything. This line shouldn't be 6.5 versus where it opened. There should not be a 2.5 point to 3 point movement here. There's just not enough for it. So you think about that, it's almost like there's a little bit of reverse line movement going on. There's kind of like some alternate line movement going on. It's trickery. It's, okay, look at this. There's a lot of money coming in on Florida. A lot of public money. There's big sharp bets being made on Florida. I don't see it. I see Georgia winning this game by 10 plus points. Because I think it's going to come down to Georgia's a touchdown better. The Georgia fans are so eager. Look how close they've been. Look how close they've been. Look how dominant they've been. And they just cannot squeak it out. But it's not because they haven't been beaten by good teams. Now, South Carolina's not a good team. They're just not. That right there was a fluke that have turned people off to Georgia. The LSU loss that Florida took hadn't turned anybody off because LSU, per the media, is quote-unquote the best team in college football. They just are going to have to beat Alabama to be ranked number 1. Nah. Georgia is a better football team than Florida. Not by an extreme amount, but I think they're a touchdown better. It's a neutral site, which also gives the team that win a better shot to win bigger because you're not having to do it on the road. You're not having to do it at home where people tend to get complacent. There is no complacency here. Neither team's going to be complacent. I think that Georgia's elite top three defense is going to force Florida to commit a couple of errors that could potentially be costly. And I think that when Georgia gets into a spot where they would tend to be comfortable, I think that's when Kirby Smart's going to show why he is a level above Dan Mullen. I love Dan Mullen. He's a great coach, and I think he'll continue to get better. But right now, Kirby Smart's still one of the best coaches in college football. He is recruited beautifully. He came in off of that Mark Rich era, and all he did was make it get better. He is silently, and I say silently because people are counting Georgia out of this thing. He's silently knowing that he is top three. He's college football playoff material, and it's going to be proven by winning this game. And I think come Sunday morning, everybody's going to be going like, "Holy shit! Yeah, we forgot about Georgia. Oh yeah, we shouldn't have forgot about them." Maybe I'm wrong. Been wrong before. I'll be wrong again. But I got to go with what I've seen these past 2 years, what I've seen to this point, and why I think that Florida is the more attractive play. But I got to go with what I think is the best. I'm going to take Georgia -6. You can buy it down to -5.5 if you really want to get better value out of it. But Georgia -6, that is on my card. That is a premium play. I want you to take it. Another couple of plays that I want you to look at, underdogs. You may think I'm crazy. I want you to look at Kansas. Potential upset outright over K-State after that big win over Oklahoma. And I can't even believe I'm saying this because I have been the biggest advocate to fade Georgia Tech this year, and it has made me nothing but a ton of money. Something's not right about this Pittsburgh line. I don't care they don't score a bunch of points. I don't care about this. You are still leading the Coastal Division of the ACC, which is a shit conference. I've already said that. Something ain't right here. And I wouldn't be surprised to see the worst team in the ACC beat one of the best. Take a look at that game. Georgia Tech. Take a look at Kansas. That's all I'm going to give you. Save the rest for the card. But your official free play, Georgia -6. I will see you guys back for Sunday. Be on the lookout. Follow social media, Twitter at Picks Chase. Look at the YouTube community. I'll be announcing all the big plays, stuff like that. And let's go have a big Saturday. Love you guys. If you want just a 3-day package or a 7-day package, $50 for 3 days, $99 for 7 days. You get all premium and daily top plays in all sports. Sorry for the long video, but hopefully that just pisses off the people that want to talk shit about it, and you know my reasonings for taking the games. Love you guys.